Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about hosting we have available at our farm in New York. We have 5 megawatts available for hosting. So if you want to jump in with S21s, maybe go low power mode on S19J Pros or maybe S19K, maybe you have some Watts miners, whatever you have, we can host that at our New York site. So if that's interesting, you know what to do. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and go to cryptollc.org if you're looking to buy Asics. Get great prices right now. You want to build a farm. You want to start a brand new farm. Build a farm on your own property, maybe in a property we can help you find. We do have all of that available for our clients at cryptollc.org. And before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, let's go. Today's video, talking about hosting. I'll be showing you guys around our farm here. Give you guys an idea. We do have the New York farm uploaded on our channel, so just look at our previous videos on our channel and you'll see that site. It's 5 megawatts, has 2 transformers at 2.5 megawatts each. There are 2 containers there and 1 hydro. So we actually can host you with hydro as well, not just air. If you want to host maybe 100, 200 units of hydro, we can do that at that farm. All right, so the setup for hosting is basically very similar, almost the same. You can see that we have PDUs at this farm here. We have PDUs that provide power to low power mode S19J Pros. These are these miners here. They're all in low power mode, and we can plug in 18 of them. So our client here wanted to just host with us immediately in low power mode day one. He didn't want to wait. He didn't want to actually start at high power mode and then go down to low power mode. He just wanted to go low power mode immediately. So we put him on this PDU here, and it can hold 18 in low power mode S19J Pros. Now you can do something similar to the farm in New York, except the farm in New York is a little bit different setup. It doesn't have PDUs, it has breakers. So the whole entire breaker is being measured in the kWh. It has a special panel where the signal is sent, where it calculates kWh. And so if you wanted to host at the New York site, which is what we're proposing here in this video, the minimum quantity is 50. You have to have 50 miners that you can host there. And the reason for that is because there are 50 slots per breaker. So you can see here we have 18 miners per PDU, but at that farm, they have breakers that are being measured kWh rather than PDU. And so for that farm, we have minimum of 50. So if you want to host there, you need 50 of those, 50 miners. Now the way we host is basically the same as this farm over here. We calculate your kWh per month. So at the end of the month, we grab the kWh number, whatever it is, whatever that was accumulated for the month, and we then reset the counter. So for like these PDUs here, it calculates, and then on the first of the month, we download the Excel spreadsheet that it creates. It creates one of those for us. We download that from the PDU, and then we immediately reset it. So all the numbers start at 0, and then the new month comes along, and now you're at 0, and then we calculate your new bill for that next month coming up. Then that Excel is then used to generate a bill. We go kWh at 7.5 cents, generates the bill, and then we send out the bill. Basically very, very simple, but that's how it works. Now our farms come with the most best air intake filtration system. You know, we provide a great air quality. Not all farms have that. Some farms, they do a bad job at just air intake, meaning that either there's not enough air coming in, or maybe the exhaust is being spun up too hard, and so you're creating too much backflow, or you're creating too much circulation, like it's going around and around and around, you know, instead of just coming in easily, coming out. To do that, you have to have a lot of experience. That's one of the things you got to have, is you have to have experience when you're building out your airflow. And so what we did at this farm was we don't have any exhaust fans on the back. There's 0 exhaust fans. And these miners, they're just pushing out the hot air on their own. So what you do is you got to build your farm really close to the exhaust, your miners, exhaust fans to be close to the exhaust. And what happens is they just simply push it out themselves. You're not creating any huge, pushback from the exhaust. A lot of these farms out there, they have exhaust fans, and those exhaust fans are not enough, or maybe they're too much. And so what they do is, if they're not enough, they would not be enough to get rid of the hot air. So you have a lot of hot air stuck between the container and the back of the miner. And so it sits there and it starts heating up the PSUs, it starts heating up the miners, and then your miner could just turn off because the PSU overheated. Maybe not the hash boards, but the PSU. So that will cause the PSU to break. And then you have to basically restart the miner, or you need to, or you actually, worst case scenario, the PSU just break. So you don't want that to happen. That's one of the negatives about having not enough air on the back being sucked out. The other problem is if it's going too fast, then what happens is the fans on these miners, if the backside is spun up too fast, the fans on these miners start glitching out because it's being sucked out so hard, but the fans are trying to spin slower because there's too much air traveling through it, so the miner is trying to target a temperature. And so if it's too fast on the backside, these fans are slowing down, and then they're speeding up and slowing down, and so they're glitching like this. You can just imagine the fans are trying to do something, but it's being forced too fast. You have to allow these fans to breathe. You have to allow these fans to do their own thing, to spin up to a certain point, to slowly slow down. When it gets cooler outside, to slowly spin up. When it gets hotter, you have to allow them to do the work, right? You have to leave them alone, basically. Don't mess with them. And a lot of these other farms out there, they have gigantic fans in the back that are not regulated. Now, they're okay to run. You can run those gigantic fans on the exhaust as long as they're regulated, as long as you have your airflow set up. But a lot of farms don't do that. They just turn them on to 100% load on those fans. They just spin them up to 100% speed, and then just let it run, and they don't think about the fact that they're really messing up these intake fans and the exhaust fans. So you don't want to do that. Then also, some farms, they have fans on the intake. They actually have fans set up on the intake that they think will help push the air, which is not what you want to do. I mean, these fans will suck the air. You don't need to shove it at them. What you need to do is you just need to leave them alone, let them suck in the air. So we don't have any intake fans for the behind the filter, and we don't have any exhaust fans behind the miners, and it runs perfectly. What it does is it just does it all on its own. First of all, you're going to save power by not running those big fans, and then you're going to not have your PSUs ever overheat or the fans ever have any issues on the intake. So that's how we do it over here. Then obviously we have our filtration system in terms of what it's protecting your miners from. You can see that it protects from everything. It's actually just a simple bug net or a simple cheap filter. It's a very high quality filter. We change it once a year, and it stops basically everything, right? It stops everything. It stops dust, little bugs, stops rain droplets. If they get a little bit of rain on them, it'll just skid down this filter. And so it stops all of that, and basically you have absolutely no issues with your miners. Your miners come in here, clean, and they come out clean. So once you're done mining with us, let's say you wanted to do a 1-year contract mining, that 1-year contract, you would deploy your miners here. Let's say they're perfect, mint condition. They come out mint condition. If you buy used miners, then they come a little bit dirty, right? From the outside, they have a little bit of dust, all that stuff. Not a big issue. But the point is that this farm is not going to add any more dust to your existing miners. So you can have like a used miner somewhere. You're mining at your farm, then you had to move, or maybe you ran out of capacity and you wanted to ship some miners to us and we could host them for you. The way your miners come is basically the way your miners will leave a year or 2 or 3 years later, as long as you want to host with us. The way they come is the way they would leave. Basically, they would leave in the very, very similar condition that they came in. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Again, this farm here is basically full. There's a little bit left. We could put miners on the sides here. We'll talk about that in our other previous videos. But basically, there's nothing much left. It's full. So the one you want to host at is the New York farm. That New York farm has 5 megawatts. So if you want to host like a whole megawatt with us, we can do that at that farm. All right, well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys like it. And until next time, goodbye.